Alrighty. Well, welcome. We are 15 minutes away. Yep. We are 15 minutes away. Right. Argentina versus Croatia. Okay. So, what does that mean, right? We are in the semifinals. Welcome, everyone. My name is Richard Romero. Thank you for joining me here from Texas Soccer Live. As you can see, I am wearing the jersey, right? Number 10. Obviously, that is my prediction just to get it off just to get it here, saying it out loud. As you all know, we did a prediction show back in like March, April, when the groups were announced, right? And now we are here. We are in the last four matches. We have the two semifinals, the third place match, and the finals match, which would happen on December 18th. So, again, thank you so much for joining me here. I'm happy to just be here for like 15 minutes or so before the game actually starts. But yes, the final four, any end of reviews. So this World Cup has been full of surprises. As you all know, on the other side of the bracket, we have Morocco versus France. Now that is going to be an interesting matchup, mainly for France and Morocco. We are seeing France beating England very decisively, and we saw Morocco tumbling down what is your Portugal, your Spain, to get all the way here. After they had a successful group matches as well, we saw Morocco coming back from Belgium, from the group between of what maybe many would have considered a group of death, uh, with Belgium and Costa Rica as well. But yeah, Morocco have made it through. And as we all know, it's not really just about the individual players, it's all about team play. And that's what this World Cup has been all about. We have seen teams make it to the next round. All of the teams that have made it so far, maybe France and Argentina were the ones to be expected to be here, but I'm sure Croatia and Morocco weren't for a lot of you. If you are keeping a bracket at hand, right? What does that look like now? Like what does it look like for Argentina, right? Like as they got all the way up until this point. Like so, let's take a quick review here, right? Argentina came off from defeating Netherlands, which were another fan favorite who I guess came as a big of a surprise as they had missed the previous World Cup, right? We saw the return of the Netherlands, of the USA, of Cameroon. So it was really nice to see some of those teams come back. Now we have a representative from almost every nation. We had Japan was very close to making it over onto this side, but as you all saw, they faced against Brazil. So it was actually no, it was in Brazil. It was. Let's take a quick look here. But yeah, if you're in the comments right now, if you are here live, leave me your prediction. Like, who is going to win today's match? Of course, I'm wearing Argentina, so I am predicting Argentina to win here. But if you think Croatia is going to win, let me know and what the score is going to be. Because at least for me, it's going to be a very open play match. I'm not going to see these two teams like going back and like playing defensively. Like we are going to see a really tough match. Croatia, they like to maintain the results, and that's what we saw against Brazil. But it is going to be interesting seeing an Argentina side who had faced probably their toughest offensive team up until this point, where we did see them playing very defensively, and that's exactly what Croatia did to Brazil. They made them play defense, right? Okay, so let's take a quick look here. Argentina, how did they get here? Well, starting off from the group stages, their first opponent was Saudi Arabia. Now, if you guys watched that game, you all would know that the result was not expected. As a matter of fact, all of that group, we didn't really know what was going to happen until the last day, and that's something that we had mentioned in our predictions. Right, it was going to be a tough tournament, just because I mean football is growing, so we are seeing a lot of these teams developing their football, but also just having more collective play and knowing how to maintain a result. And that might not be to some people that they might not like that. They want a football that's nice, and you're able to have offensive play and have a solid midfield and be able to distribute the ball and all that. But sometimes, I mean, this is a World Cup. It's a tournament. The idea here is to win the whole thing, and sometimes it doesn't matter how you get there. And we've seen some teams who really have pushed other teams to play defensively and get them on their side of the field, and that you wouldn't have expect. And that's exactly what Saudi Arabia did after a couple misses, a couple offsides, debatable one debatable offside right for Argentina out of the three or four that were called. We did see Saudi Arabia take the win there, right, and defeat Argentina 2-1. And you know, a big upset for sure. But we did get a chance to see what that looked like for them. And I apologize, it was Group C. So okay, so let's see here. And we also had Poland face Mexico. Of course, we know Mexico. Their their participation in this World Cup was to be expected. They hadn't scored in the first or second game, and when they needed to do so in the third match, that's when it was tough to play, because their second match was against Argentina. So Argentina played Mexico in that victory 2-0, which a big upset, especially not seeing Mexico score, having so many chances. But Argentina and Messi and the rest of the Argentina team really did their part and played a really solid game. I mean, Mexico always has great first halves, and they push Argentina into the corner, but they just couldn't score, and that's exactly what they missed out on, and making it into the next round. What they needed there was a tie, but Argentina won, and this started the ascendance of Argentina after they lost, of course. And here they had their first victory, and their last opponent was Poland. And in that match, right, we really saw a different side of Argentina. We saw Argentina being more offensive. We saw their new beautiful uniform, but also we really saw them convincingly defeat Poland. And Poland, even with that defeat, were still able to make it to the next round because they had beaten Saudi Arabia. But it was a very tough third match. I mean, we honestly, like, it was up in the air. Saudi Arabia or Mexico could have made it to the next match had the results been a little bit different for them in that match. Okay, now Croatia. And I'm getting here the reminder that 5 minutes until gameplay. So if you're not watching the stream, you're probably watching this on playback. Please feel free to give us a like. And we're gonna start coming back up here with our shows. But I appreciate you all so much for all the messages and just asking where we've been. And thankfully, we are staying healthy here. But just been caught up with work, and it's the usual things. But thank you so much for all of those of you who have checked in. And I hope all of you are doing well as well and enjoying this World Cup. Okay, so Croatia. Croatia comes from one of the sorry. Okay, so Croatia's coming from Group F. I don't know where I got it mixed up here. Yeah, so Group F, and in Group F they faced against Morocco. So it's really interesting to see this because both Croatia and Morocco came from Group F, and not in the order where people thought. Being being honest here, right? Group F, we had Morocco, Croatia, Belgium, and Canada. Um, Belgium was the top favorite, I think, on our end. Belgium and Croatia were supposed to be the ones who had made it out of this group. But lo and behold, Morocco, the undefeated team, and they are the only undefeated team still in the World Cup. France had lost their first match, or had lost one of their matches in the World Cup, their last group stage match. But Morocco have been undefeated, and that's talking a lot. Just means they haven't been able to score, or they haven't been able to defeat Morocco, which is great. we saw it back in 2010 when Spain, after they lost, they started winning 1-0. It wasn't pretty, but they got it done, and that's how I'm seeing a Morocco here. Of course, they didn't start out by losing, but they tied, but it was a scoreless tie. And on the other side, right, we had Belgium and Canada. And Belgium really, really struggled to get that 1-0 against Canada. Canada really put up a good fight, but unfortunately they lost. And according to some, or not according to some, according to the analysis here, Canada is one of the worst teams in the World Cup in regards to them not being able to win any match so far in all of their participations. So we did see a younger team for Canada, but hopefully with this new opportunity, with them getting a feel for the matches and kind of the caliber of what a team should look like here, um, maybe we can see a better Canada for 2026. And that is my hope, to have our CONCACAF teams be more competitive out here. And hopefully Sean will get a chance to talk about our good old Team USA and their participation as well. But for now, we're sticking with Morocco and their group and Group F. So Morocco, yes, they tied against Croatia, and then we saw them play again against Canada. And this was a very decisive win, but we also saw Canada score for the first time in this World Cup. And Croatia had a 4-1 victory, very decisively, right? We saw a team that was playing very offensive. And I think that was what caught them was by surprise by Morocco, is that they let Morocco really push them to play defensively, really pushed them to, it was a back and forth match, but without any score. And finally, Croatia was able to have a decisive win for our second place from the last tournament. And that's another point that I'll get to before the match starts, which is 2 minutes from now. Okay, so quickly, Morocco was able to defeat Belgium 2-0 very decisively, right? And this is where we started to see Belgium really struggle. Like, were they going to make it, right? We have Morocco, who now have 4 points, and Croatia, who has 4 points as well, and Belgium still had three. So it was going to be very tricky for Belgium because the opponent they were going to face was Croatia, and Morocco was going to face Canada, right? So it was Canada's opportunity to really sour the party, but unfortunately that didn't happen. We had Canada lose 1-2 against Morocco, and Croatia and Belgium tie, thus allowing Croatia to move on to the next round with 5 points, and Morocco staying up with 7 points and undefeated. Okay, but for today, Croatia and Argentina, right? So Argentina beat Australia 2-1 last Saturday, and we had Croatia beat Japan in penalties. And that is something that I'm going to note because Croatia has made it to the next round, but by going to the extra time and penalties. So we are going to see a very tired Croatia. And hopefully these rest days have helped them, right? But let's see here. Maybe I can pull up the stream here. But, who are you taking as your winner? Like, definitely let me know in the comments. We are about to get the show started here with the game. If you all are interested in us doing live reviews of the games, like, please let us know. Like, I'd be happy to try that out. And that might be something that I might just do right here. The idea here was just to get us with the ball rolling with the results, right? So after the round of 16, we had Argentina and beat Australia 2-1, and Croatia beat Japan 3-1, and they really Japan really was almost going to knock them out, and I was going to be like, what? Like, it would have been so great to see them off to the quarterfinals, but that didn't happen. We had Croatia then defeat one of the fan favorites and one of my number one contenders, which would have been Brazil. And I know Raul and Sean, that is probably one of the teams we had expected back in April to have made it to the final, and unfortunately it wasn't. The way the brackets ended up pairing up, they would have had to face Argentina regardless before making it over to the final. So we missed out on the South American rivalry, but Argentina was pretty much held on their own. After winning 2-0, they almost lost the ball there. And were allowed the Netherlands to tie it up and sending it over to penalties. But this time we saw a more confident Argentina in those penalty shots. But it's going to be interesting. We both of their goalies, if it ends up going today to extra time and penalties, it's going to be tough because both goalkeepers have done their due diligence and have stopped respective have made great saves under the penalty box. But we are going to see. It is a pretty even match. I do expect this to be a very open play match. Croatia is going to be put up has to put up a really good fight and then some. They are really going to have to attack Argentina and put Argentina back in the defense, just like Netherlands did, in order for them to like create those opportunities of play. Okay, all right. So it looks like the game is about to start. But I hope you all are excited. And hopefully after the match, I'll come back up and we can get a chance to talk about Morocco and France, the surprise. So let's see here. We now have a new feature here where we are able to play the music in the background. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining. Again, my name is Richard Romero. If you all are interested in following me, please feel free to do so at Richie Rome on Instagram or Shot by Richie, as I have it in my other. But we'll see you all soon.